Hi, my name is Blaine Sherman, and I thought I'd make a video detailing how to do a clean and press with a kettlebell. I made a program for a friend recently, and I put that in the program as it's a really good exercise, but it is one that needs a little bit more detail than just, say, a bicep curl or a lunge, like that. So this is to show some fine points for him, and I figured I'll just share it for everybody. So I have a 50-pound kettlebell here, and for demonstration purposes, it's 20 pound. Now, ideally, you would want to start, if you're a male and you're new to kettlebell work, probably at 35 pound. If you're female, probably the 20 pound. We're doing quick lifts like the kettlebell press, because it's enough weight to where it will challenge you and not let you get away with mistakes, but not so much that while you're learning, there's as high a risk of injury. So those are some suggestions, but if you've been strength training before, or if you've used kettlebells before, just go adjust accordingly based on your strength level and your skill level. So to show you quickly the difference between a dead clean and a swing clean, I'll use this work weight, okay, the 50 pound. So for dead clean, I'm going to come pretty much parallel to the bell, so it's under my center of mass. Now I'm going to reach, and I come here. You can also come forward and reach back like so. So you're really loading the hips. So either way, I'm coming here. This hand can go out to the side, or it can go on the hip. You want a definite place for it, but try not to have like the eagle claw thing going on where your hands are all weird looking. So a good place to start is here, because it's somewhere to put your hand. All right. So I'm going to start like so, and when you reach down to pull it up, you're hinging the hips back. So it's like you're going to sit in a chair rather than, see how my knees go forward? This is more of a squatting type of motion. So we want to work the hinge, so a hip dominant movement. Now my body stays relatively straight, so I'm not trying to do this. So what I want to do is start here, so my lat, and I pull it down. So once you're depressing the lats here, I'm hinging back, the weight's down, and I lower my arm to the weight. This becomes just a hook, and this is a very similar setup to a barbell deadlift. So I'm coming down here, gripping the weight, so I'll make sure there's no slack. And what I mean by that is, you're doing a dead, so watch this, straight arm, and now I bend it, so it's bent. So before this weight moved off the ground, I'm doing this, that has to happen first, now I'm lifting the weight. So I've lost some energy transfer. So I want this here before I actually start lifting the weight. So this is relaxed, just enough strength to hold the weight in a good position. So I'm not lifting here first. See, I've generated no movement at all. So I want this locked in, so as soon as I push through the floor, midsole, the weight moves up. So this is the basic deadlift. Okay. So now I'm going to use this as a clean. To the floor, that's 1 rep. Break, reach down, use the hip drive, triple extension, to put the weight here. So I'm not using the arm. Okay. So then we have a swing clean. Okay, we'll start from this position. So I'm going to use this, load the hips, and then move up into the clean position. From the side, do the dead clean. I'll use my left arm. Alright. Make sure we take the slack out. I haven't lifted it yet. I'm ready Push through the midsole. Plus 1, dead weight. Lower, hinge back, triple extension. And now we'll do the swing clean. Awesome, right? So, those are the differences between a dead and a swing. One is a little bit more ballistic. We're having to tame the force of the bell descending and then use that energy back up into our clean position. The dead is pretty much, we're doing it from a no velocity position, controlling it, putting it back down, and you can do singles like this. These are really good ways to learn how to clean without high reps, getting your forearms banged up and whatnot. So now the rack, the clean position. All right, so to start from the top down, okay, we'll start from the front. Elbows in tight. So we're not here. We're not doing this. Okay. This is essentially just putting yourself into a shoulder lock if you're in like BJJ or any type of submission grappling. Why would you do this? If it doesn't feel right, probably it. So watch the correction. Forward. Notice my hands are open. So it's resting on the meaty part of the hand. And it's in a good fighting posture. This is braced. So I'm having this tight. And see how my shoulders raised? I want to depress the shoulder blades, bring it in, bring this tight. Now, close. The heavier bell you get, the more you want to crush this handle. Okay. So when you do this, it's like arm wrestling. I can tense forward and use the bell, and it shortens this lever arm. Okay. So it makes it more comfortable. If you look from the side, again, I'm not resting this way on the forearm, and I'm not doing this all the way in the biceps. We're trying to find a happy medium between the two. Now, if you're a female, obviously, you're going to have to set it out a little to the side. So that's for comfort, and everyone has to adjust, but adjust with these principles. Tight, as close as you can, keep your lats depressed, keep the forearm engaged, or think about spearing straight up. Okay. So we start from the top, and we'll learn the drop. Okay. Okay. So again, when you drop it, and I'm using this lightweight so I can go slow. This is not tensing. This is just completely loose, like a noodle. And at the very end, close to the body, we let the hips absorb the weight. Start at the top. So not this. See how far away I am? You can see that motion, it jerked my shoulder out of place. So use your assisting arm to start in the top position. And relax. Let it fall, let it fall. See how I'm turning this way. I turn and dip the elbow under, start in this position, and I just let it roll. So the idea with the clean is if you were catching a baseball, you wouldn't just hold your arm out straight and pray that the baseball landed in your glove like I did when I tried to play baseball. Just do this. It doesn't work. It hurts your wrist and it bounces out and everyone laughs at you. What you want is to see the velocity of the ball, get in a relaxed position, And when it comes in, you receive it, and you blend with the speed of the ball. Same thing with the principle of the clean. You're trying to blend with the bell, and that takes a lot of reps. So to prevent having smashed forearms, a lot of bruises on your forearm, indication that you're doing probably this. You're curling the bell, and it's slamming here. Okay, also, if your bicep is getting sore doing cleans with the kettlebell, you're not doing cleans, you're doing leg-assisted bicep curls. Not good. Okay? So a symptom is you'll get elbows. If you're letting the bell slam down and you're not receiving the weight, your elbows will start hurting. Your shoulder will probably get pretty jacked up from doing this. So those are indications you're not doing it right, so fix it. So again, from here, I'm going to do it one more time. I'll do it from this side, but I'll do it from the front. Let me see. I'm going to let it go lax, like my arm, noodle arm, and at the very end, I'm going to receive with my hips. Okay. Then I'll use this hand, cup it, and I'm going to mimic the motion. Coming up here, start at the top, tight, and I can do it with light weight to get reps on that. Can't really do it on the work weight. So now we'll go, I like swing cleans more. So we're going to use a swing clean to set up for a press. So I'm going to stand in here, get my position. And when I say doing the clean, you'll have to watch the elbow. Okay? So we did the setup to the rack, and now how do we get this elbow position? Okay. So you're going to punch the elbow below the bell while the hand spears up through the horns right here. So again, pop it, pop, pop, and pop. Okay. When you do that, instead of flinging it over, this prevents this from happening. So I'm not dipping the elbow under the bell. I'm doing this, just flinging it over backwards. It's going to smash your forearm, and you're going to hate kettlebell work. So when the bell comes up, the legs making it weightless. See, my arm's not pulling. I'm not doing pull. And then you have to pop the elbow under the bell. So, weightless, standing up, and I start to rotate it. And see this, while the bell is still moving up, I punch through here, which causes the bell to spin around. I'm going to move this away so you can see a little bit. So it spins. What's the bell? Alright? As opposed to, I hate kettlebells. So if you're in a commercial gym and you see people going up the kettlebell rack and just kind of, whatever, you'll see what I'm talking about. Again, that's a symptom. If you get a big bruise about right here, you're probably doing that. So the idea is to get the bell weightless with your hip drive. As your wrist is turning, the bell is moving up, and you take this elbow and you punch it. Dip it under the bell and then up. So I think spear hand if you're in karate. So either here, or you can have the grip. The heavier the bell is, to work on your crushing grip, I suggest doing this, but also when you do a press, it really adds more strength to it. So we'll get to the press. So I'll start with a clean. Okay, cool, right? So tight, pulled in, tense the glutes. This position, probably a good place to start if you're a beginner, but you can also have it out here as long as you have a position where you can keep this lat tight. So press. So it's almost like a J. So moving out. So you want to stay rooted, and you want to push the bell or yourself away from the kettlebell. So instead of me standing here like this, I'm pulling my shoulder down so it takes the slack out of this joint. So I'm not having to push down first and then move. So I'm going to push myself under the bell, but I'm keeping everything here tight. Tight, like a tiger, right? So I'll do from this side. Swing clean. Punch it. Set. So preload your muscles. Make sure you're not popping the bell. So drop, receive it, turning the thumb back. So not here, here. That can save some elbow strength. There's a lot of wrist manipulation involved with the proper swing and clean. Okay. So that's a swing, clean, and press. So if you're doing those, every time you do one, each rep is to do a clean and press is one exercise. So from here, pause for a second. Drop it, one. And then complete the entire motion. Just demonstrating these things, it's a pretty good workout. So now we're going to do a military press. The difference being the swing clean or clean and press is kind of a more dynamic exercise. So you can use some of this motion from the swing to aid in the press. So it's a quick lift, whereas if you're working on more hypertrophy, such as muscle mass, higher reps, you do one clean, get it into place. And that was a set of 3. So one clean, a good proper clean. So it's clean because there's no injury, there's no sound. It just rests there. It feels good, right? Yeah. And then you're going to do your presses. When you're done with your set, safe drop. And go to the other arm, whatever else you need to do in your program. So again, a couple of the key points. Make sure slack, take that out, as opposed to doing this, and now lifting with my back. That's really not a good way to lift. So you're gonna start before you even touch that weight. So I'll lower it just to the point. I'll lift up a little bit to get some tension. And up. When I release the bell, it's coming down. And I unwrap it. See how my hand slides? Slide, slide. And I'm It's going to go down. This is all loose in dynamic motion once it's happening. And when it comes down, right when it's about to get full extension, let it slide, let it slide. Thumb rotates in towards the center line, and we catch it. So I'll do a quick 3 more reps of swing clean, just to show like how a little set would work with both arms. Push away from the bell, keeping my lats depressed. Keep those lats set. And really, that was 1 clean and press, and then 2 military presses, but you get the idea. And that might be 1 set of 3 if you're doing a work weight kettlebell. And then you rest for however long, and repeat for how many sets or reps that your program says. So the idea of kettlebells is they're dynamic and ballistic type tools. Now you can do this with a kettlebell. Yeah. Why? Just use a dumbbell. I mean, if you only buy one, you can get a kettlebell and do these exercises, or you can do shit like this, like, ooh, front raise, oh shit, that's hard. I guess that's cool, but the reason that these require more training than just a dumbbell is because the exercises are primarily ballistic. And anytime you're doing something quick with heavy weight, there's a higher chance of injury than just doing this, picking the weight up. It also switches the weight. If you look, the weight is centered here rather than a dumbbell this way. So it facilitates movement, spiraling. Your body is built on spiral patterns of movement, more so than just pure linear. And I'm pretty sure that there isn't really any pure linear fibers in your body when it comes to how you move synergistically. So kettlebell overall is probably a better training implement. But so if it seems that I talk too much over like, dude, it's just 2 things. Yeah, but these 2 things can make drastic changes in your body for better or worse. And if you pick one up, I just hope that you know enough to not hurt yourself or to have a bad opinion of kettlebell training because you had a bad experience. So if you have any questions on how to do a swing or a clean and press or just a military press, and maybe you're still kind of lost after the video, just ask me some questions or look up some other sources. I mean, there's plenty of people out there, and most of them are pretty knowledgeable. But if you see any of the blaring errors that I've talked about in this video, in their videos, maybe look elsewhere. Not saying I'm amazing, but these are fairly ubiquitous training principles with the kettlebell that most competent people will also espouse, and they might expand upon better than me. So again, my name is Blaine Sherman, and I hope what you've seen today is helpful, or at least gives you a better idea of what's up with these cannonballs with handles that people are always throwing around in CrossFit gyms. So, all right, until next time, train hard, some catchphrase, whatever. All right, see you.